Well, good evening. This is End Time Watchman. I'd like to do an intelligence / information update tonight or this evening, and hope everyone out there is doing well under these circumstances. I hope and pray that you've are holding your head up, whether it be a loss of a job or loss of a loved one, whether it be just going through hell and high water. Because a lot of us in America are. And I want you to know something. I was talking with a good friend of mine over the phone, and it's getting hard to try to enjoy stuff. Like say if you want to go out hunting or wanted to do this or fishing or whatever, or just whatever. It's getting hard to enjoy it if you're in the know of what could very possibly be taking place in the near future here in America. And I want to tell everybody and encourage everybody that keep your head up. Don't let the spirit of depression on you. Don't let it get you down. Be sober. Be vigilant about your surroundings, and enjoy your wife and your kids if you have one, or your husband if you're a lady watching this tonight. But don't let it get you down. But be awake and be alert. Have ears that can hear and eyes that can see, okay? And have feet that are able to move if you need to under certain circumstances. But having said that, I wanted to try to, there's a lot of FEMA activity taking place around the bases and all, and of course for a long time I've known, and a lot of you have, of the 10 regions, the 10 FEMA regions that are broke up across America. And, of course, they preface it by using it for natural disasters only. And we know otherwise. We do know. I mean, we're not idiots. They botched Kentucky. They botched Katrina. They botched near about everything they ever done. It's because they're not really readily available for that, because there are other purposes that they've been set up under and under the auspices of Homeland Security. And they all combine and work together. And but what they're preparing for, and I know this for a fact, they're preparing for an event of civil unrest is what they're preparing for, and they're preparing for the event that the American people have said enough's enough, and they take to the streets and protest and different things, and they're preparing for that in order to deal with it, and the major critical incidents that could be possibly coming up in the not so distant future, my friend. But in any event, I want to talk to you and let you know that there's an internal Department of Defense massive build-up. 70,000 combat troops with increase of air and ground support for civil disturbances. Different areas around, different bases. They're really moving in a lot of Humvees, a lot of different things. What I'm telling you is a fact. This ain't a game. This ain't some kind of conspiracy theory. I'm telling you the truth, and there are massive buildups that are taking place. I wish I could tell you some things that I talked to somebody about today, but I just cannot do it. But believe you me, that FEMA and troops and Humvees and tanks are building up. And by the way, you cannot in any way, shape, form, or fashion say in these office rockers Obama bringing the troops home. If you're an Obama supporter, he ain't brought crap home. You understand me? Okay? That ain't it. This is a different scenario that's taking place. Now, having said that, I'm going to drive up a state for a minute, and I'm going to go over something with you. I don't know that it's took place all over the USA, but I do know that oil is down. Was it $40 and some change right now? And yet there's 30 cent spike in fuel. Man, the dollar that you know is going to crash. It is going to crash. I'm not one of these economists or Peter Schiff or none of them. It's going to crash. I would invite you and suggest to you that you would ponder thinking about what I'm fixing to tell you. If I were you, I would be in a hurry getting me, if you have cash, getting you more food and supplies if it's available to you. Because it's going to cost you so much more, even if the dollar winds up being worth anything anymore in the near future, it's going to cost you, you're going to have to take a wheelbarrow to go get a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk. I would suggest that you get some things if you've not stocked up on them, and you think about some things. I was also talking to this friend today. You got to wonder what all you need to get, and you know you're not going to get it all. We're not going to have everything we need, but we will be able to have a core basis of things to be able to support and survive through networking with one another in your community. If you can trust those in your community, I don't know what to tell you if you can't, other than, I don't know. I'm not telling you to break ties, get up and move out. I'm just telling you that you need to think about your situation, and if you have the availability to do it, you might want to get out of the city. The major cities, you might want to adios amigos. You might want to say, I'm off like a dirty shirt. You might want to say, stick a fork in me, I'm done with this, I got to roll. If you have the funds and it's available, I would consider that you would at least think about what I'm telling you, because it's going to get pretty rough in the cities. It's going to get real rough, matter of fact. It ain't going to be pretty. I shouldn't have used that adjective. Pretty. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be real rough, okay, in the not so distant future. Now having said that, oh boy, how do I say this? Well, I got to be real careful here, so y'all bear with me. You know, you remember the bombings that were in India? There was a lot of chatter before the bombings, and then the intelligence knew a couple of hours before it was happening. They went, bam. Well, there's a lot of chatter going on. A lot of chatter going on in America through the different agencies, and memos being posted and put out of some things that are not so pretty in the not so distant future for America as a whole, and especially in the big cities, and us as individuals, as far as all these rights that we deem as sacred, given to me. I don't know how you got yours, but mine were given to me by God, and I just there's an urgency that we should take notice of, and just watch the chatter, watch the little nuances that are being thrown out, and you can draw a conclusion on several different ways this thing could go down, and there are so many different ways that it could take place. But I do really believe that that more people are fixing to lose their money because the stock market's going to drop. I do believe that people are getting fed up and ticked off, and I've never tried to start a revolution of any kind of, how should I say this, any kind of physical aggression. I never have. Some people, it's like I was talking with the guy today, some people just, by God, they got itchy ears, but they can't understand everything what somebody's trying to say. And in a way, I feel sorry for these folks, because you got to be able to take the intel, digest it. You got to be able to comprehend, and you got to be able to look around you and say, well, okay, well, the news media is saying this, but I'm catching this over YouTube and different sites, different blogs, and it's totally different than the media. Well, that number one right there should throw up a red flag and let you know that you can't trust the media, friends. You cannot do it. You cannot trust the media. Please wake up and hear End Time. You cannot trust the media. And one of the ways that some things could be possibly taking place, and I'll remind you on this, that when I say this about the way that things can take place as far as the media goes, there may be a blackout. You still may be able to look at the TV. You may be able to see this, that, and the other that the news is supposedly giving you. Maybe about, somebody cheated on his wife and Hollywood star did that. And they'll distract you from the real case in point that you know from other alternative sources, but they'll never mention it. But they'll distract you if you're not careful, and you'll say, well, it's pretty interesting. It takes my mind off of what's really happening in America. And that's their whole point in their plan, because the media is controlled. They're controlled. They're controlled by the evil feds. They're controlled by the evil feds. And that's case in point. But I want to make a suggestion. Some of you may and some of you may not. Some of you may have it, you may not have it. I'm not plugging nothing to sell, as some idiots have said I did with the herbs and stuff like that. We made 2 videos, my wife made them, but I don't want to get into that. He ain't worth it. He ain't worth it. He's too stupid. But I purchased me, a little while back, a shortwave radio. It does no weather. It's crank power, satellite power, and plug-in. $70. I purchased it. I'll be back. Don't leave me. I ran out of time.